wanted to send a text, but it wouldn't send it.
You want to go upstairs and just take 2 seats here? Go upstairs.
Get too warm. Inside.
I thought we were going to sit Wow.
And that's why
that is gorgeous.
You've noticed out there, and we're going to meet him in a bit. But because 82% of Alaska's population is reliant on aircraft at least some point during the year. And in fact, over to our left, you look up on shore, it might look like a great big backyard with dead spots in it, but actually that is a bush airstrip. It's a little runway called Fouts Field. It's 900 feet long, although a skilled Super Cub pilot only needs just a fraction of that. You look at it, you look here on the monitor, you can see it's a very quiet spot today, but when we roll time back 25 years, you'll see what it looked like in this video, when there used to be dozens of float planes there. See, it was very busy. And this is a Super Cub right here on bush wheels, leaving that field in 150 to 200 feet of runway is all it needs. Tail is elevated, get to about 40 miles an hour, then bump it off the ground, that kicks the nose up and up they go, just that fast, for a short field takeoff. And those bush wheels or Tundra tires only have about 6 or 7 pounds of pressure in them, so they're like big balloons. They roll smoothly over rocks and logs. They don't get torn off the bottom on uneven surfaces.
Oh, okay. We're not on the very
our
top.
pilots like rivers for runways too, as you've already noticed. And our friend Steve Kennel, one model Piper Super Cub on floats.
Oh, that's quite all right.
And he's going to give us a look at that aircraft. Looks like he's prepping for a downstream takeoff, maybe. So he'll come along our left side. We'll get a good look at too far over there, and then he'll turn around behind us and take off on the left side of the vessel. So you'll have a front row seat to a bush flying demonstration. And remember the captain said that you are more than welcome to move. Now, if that happened too fast for anybody, don't worry, because we're going to see more of that. They'll take a lap and sit down behind us again. You can watch them on the monitor. And we want to make sure everybody knows, too, that bush pilots are not just part of the past up here. They're critical in the present as well, because they're little villages that get surrounded by snow and ice in the winter. And the only way in or out is a little plane like that on skis. I had a friend who told us a story, a bush pilot that got a call from the hospital one December. There was a young woman going into labor in one of those villages, and he had to go pick her up. A 2-hour flight to that remote village, 2 people into the plane, 2 hours back to Fairbanks, and 3 people got out of it. That's right. And we just kind of let that marinate a little bit. You think it's a big deal when that happens in a jetliner? That's a lot of pushing and shoving for a tiny little plane like that. Yes. Farewell to our friend Steve Canasser. Wheels and floats come off in October. They'll put skis on the planes and they can land on these rivers when they freeze, or go up in the mountains and land on glaciers. And even though I'm not a pilot, I can still tell you when skis go on planes, because I was born and raised in Fairbanks. I've been in Alaska my whole life, and every single Halloween when my
I can see absolutely no reason to jump out of a perfectly good airplane. She did.
Now over to the right here, we want to introduce you to a very special piece of Binkley family history. Discovery number 1, the vessel you see on the monitor and coming into about a 1 o'clock position off the bow. This is the original riverboat Discovery here. Built in 1955 by Captain Jim, right out in his backyard. They started out with a little 50-foot boat called the Godspeed that only held 25 people. Outgrew that in a hurry. Jim built this one so smaller. Increased capacity from 1950s, we could show you right up on the screen, Jim and Mary together. In the next valley behind these hills that you see to the right over here. The pump house provided the water for hydraulic classifying. Used to have 6,000. But even though we like our gold still, it's not our favorite resource anymore. That's people. We all voted on that. Freezer. So maybe imagine that red and yellow gadget is a carcass of a moose or a caribou. That's what they would do with those logs. That's why they like that. Let the catch freeze dry in the cold winter air up out of the reach of predators, and the meat would be preserved for many months. Pretty innovative, actually. So that's a real classic design. We'll see some newer ones in a while, and you can see the difference. And another very common question that people will ask is, what does everybody do for a living? That answer is really not all that different, I don't think, from anywhere that you're from. There's a little bit of everybody. White collar, blue collar, professionals, and tradespeople. It's a young population. The average age is only 27 now, because we have 2 really big military bases, I mean, by our standards, integrated, with a 10,000 student university behind us. But there plenty of retired folks here too. This cabin coming afraid out of here in her day, but not so much now. Gray and white pelican is sitting in the back there. And then you see what's left of the Mildred out here in front. Not everybody liked to recycle things like Jim Binkley. They just sort of get done with their stuff and leave it behind. But, oh, and they've got some geese hanging out in the Mildred. Well, there you go. See, it's still useful. And if you want to learn more about it, about the legacy of Susan Butcher, this is Trailbreaker Kennels. And I get to introduce you to somebody who's very special to us. The husband of the late Susan Butcher and co-founder of this facility. He is a veteran of the Iditarod himself and the winner of the 1988 Yukon Quest. Dave Monson, good to see you this afternoon. About a century and a half ago, people from other parts of the world started coming up here, and the natives began to settle in more permanent villages to establish trade. And this is the chief village on which we're right. We're going to spend some time on shore and explore the living museum with the guides. It's something like to think of it. It's an area of the preserve, just like this. Much like those villages that Jim used to see on freight roads. We're also going to learn about fish cam today. From a young lady who knows a thing or two about it. She's got the catch of the day by our camp. It's Robin, I think, over there. Is that you? How you doing?
Good afternoon, everyone. Right here, I have a snack-sized male chum salmon. And when you folks turn around and come back upriver, I'll share with you how I turn this into food for our dogs, and I'll
Just off the bow and on your TV monitor. Now, isn't that a coincidence? Yeah, we knew they'd be there. But see, the point of this display is that all those things will tell her when you come to a fork in the road which path is the best one to take to avoid parking up on the sandbar. Were actually revered for their ability to not get stuck all the time, using that very set of skills. And the whole thing rises and falls seasonally too. Some of you might have noticed these mud bars to the left and wondered if we were at low tide or something, but there is no tidal impact on this river.
I'll touch it though.
Is the head of the caribou. Then all the way to your left, you may have noticed already a livestock example of a full-grown bull moose. He was taken just north of us in the White Mountains and had a trophy-sized rack of 73.5 inches. The moose was the most important resource of the Athabascans. While caribou travel herds, moose tend to travel alone, so the Athabascans became very skilled at calling the bull moose. One way was to take a shoulder blade from a previous kill and scrape it up and down a tree, like Robin will demonstrate. Isn't she a skilled hunter? Bull moose are very territorial, so this may bring one to the area to investigate the intrusion on his turf. And there's also another way to follow the bull moose, and that is verbally, using your birch bark megaphone like this. The hunter would try to imitate the bull moose's baying call, which is a deep, guttural, grunting sound. And would you folks like a demonstration? Sure. Yes. Here you go, Robin.
Here, Bushy, Bushy, Bushy.
Once again, very skilled. While some men job to hunt down the animal, it became the women's job to prepare the hide for clothing. Actually I'm missing a part. First she had to take down the animal.
Yeah.
So the hunter would take a bone to his spear like this to provoke the moose to charge. She would then plant a steep angle into the ground, so when the moose reared up to stomp on the hunter, it'd be forced to impale itself on the tip of the spear. Then all Robin would have to do is skillfully roll out underneath the heavy falling animal. Now it's the women's turn to prepare the hide for clothing. So to begin the tanning process, she scrape off all the flesh and hair using sharpened shin bones from a previous kill. This would leave her with a stiff piece of material called rawhide. And rawhide was particularly valuable when it comes to thin strips called babiche. And you use babiche to web snowshoes, for lashings, or as an all-purpose rope. But obviously, rawhide is too stiff to use for clothing, so the women would have to soak this in a solution of fermented moose brains and water. This milky fluid has acidic enzymes in it that break down the tough fibers of the rawhide. She would then scrape up a tool called the claus, which resembles the Eskimo ulu, except as a serrated edge. After days and days of soaking, scraping, and wringing that hide, it is reduced down to soft pieces of material like this. To preserve all of our hard work, the women would smoke this over a campfire. You can always tell a true native tanned hide by its rich smoky smell and light brown color. And now, I'd like to share with you some traditional garments. First off, we have a maiden's dress. And over here, we have a ceremonial chief's coat. These are museum quality garments that are made from tanned moose hides, which are prepared using techniques that I just explained. After Western contact, the Athabascan began to trade furs for beads, and became very well known for the intricate and beautiful beadwork designs you can see on these garments. The floral patterns also have symbolic meaning. On the maiden's dress, they represent a type of flowers that are commonly found in her village. On this one, we have the bluebell. Then over here, we have our Alaskan state flower, the forget-me-not. On the chief's coat, they represent animal tracks, and the women would sew them on in hopes of bringing a man good luck on his strapline. Both of these garments are trimmed with beaver fur, and the buns on the chief's coat are made from cross sections of moose antler. And then on the maiden's dress, the buns are made from cross sections of caribou antler. But now, I really think you like this next piece. Robin is modeling an Athabascan Yukon style women's winter parka. It is all traditional, except for that big zipper down the middle. That is there so she can quickly get in and out on warm summer days. Typically, it is sewn together as a pullover style. The main body is made of muskrat, and it's trimmed with calfskin river otter. Now Robin's going to show off the sunshine ruff.
Oh, wow.
The outer part of the ruff is made out of timber wool, but the part closer to your face is made of wolverine. The reason for that is wolverine fur has a natural oil in it that prevents your breath from freezing to it, so they'd use that to prevent any frostbite on your face. Then any leftover pieces will be made into tassels like these, which are wolverine tipped in timber wool. And Robin would sew them on to show everyone that a man's a skilled trapper and caught that tricky wolverine. Now she's going to turn around to show you the designs on the back. Skin sewing techniques and beadwork designs were passed on from mother to daughter, generation after generation. Each family had their own original design. Therefore, if Robin were to travel to another village, they could tell exactly where she was from, just by looking at the back of the parka. Thank you, Robin.
Beautiful.
Setting of what an Athabascan village would look like after that first significant contact with Western culture, which happened about 150 years ago. Prospectors arrived by steerless steamboats into the sudden introduction of new tools, weapons, and food allowed the Athabascan to stop only hurt the game and settle into permanent villages just like this one. The cabin that's right in front of you was made entirely from the resources found at this site. Just like the original cabins were made 100 years ago. Larger spruce trees like these ones were cleared from the site, peeled, cut and then used for the walls of the cabin. The gaps in between the logs were then stuffed with moss to make it windproof. The roof was made from younger spruce poles which will peel as well, lay flat on top, and it was covered with a layer of birch bark to protect the wood. To seal and insulate the roof, earth was placed on top of that bark, and then grass was planted to prevent the soil from eroding. Now that I tell you folks that, how many of you believe you could survive Alaskan winter in a cabin like that? No takers, so I'll stay in this nice cabin all by myself. And all the rest of you folks can enjoy our spacious guest cabin all the way to the left. That is really called a trapper's line cabin. And cabins like that were built along the winter's travel plane about a day's journey apart.
I was saying, these guys in the pen are retired. We have 8 of our Trailbreaker retirees in here. If you have small children, I ask that you don't dangle them over the side of the railing. It has happened. And then just be careful of them sticking their hands in the fence. And if you're holding them up, just don't hold them over the fence at all. These guys get really excited around kids because my 9-year-old plays with them all the time. So they think that it's like, oh, we get to play. And sometimes they bump heads a little too quick and have left me with several bloody noses by accident. Also, any of the grass is on the outside of the fence. Please do not feed that to our dogs. They will take it from you, but some of it is toxic and will hurt them.
So the reason that it matters what kind of water you get your salmon out of is it has to do with their life cycle. These salmon are born in fresh water. Some of them even in the Chena River. They swim all the way out to the ocean, live their whole life out there until they get the urge to reproduce, and then they come back into the same river they were born in to spawn. And they only do that once and they die right afterwards. Had him do what he already did very well. And when I see the colors on the back of Discovery 1 there, and think about Jim's service, I always like to take a moment to thank all of you on this boat who have served your country as well. Veterans and active personnel alike, we are honored to have you on board, and you are among friends when you're in service.